Is there really something, out there? I'm increasingly interested in this, and something that a Florida member of Congress told Joe Rogan on Wednesday got my ears perked up. Let's go through it. So, Paulina Luna is a Republican Congresswoman from Florida. She's gotten some attention nationally. She's very pro Trump. But she's also very interested in what, when I was a kid, we called UFOs, unidentified flying objects, but nowadays we call unidentified aerial phenomena, UAPs. So Joe Rogan, you may have heard of him, he has a podcast, is also interested in this stuff. And Paulina Luna went on Rogan's massive podcast on Wednesday, and she said some things that I thought were pretty interesting. So let me just read a few chunks of it. First of all, she said that she met F-15 pilots while she was an airfield manager at the Portland International Guard. She said she has not seen unidentified aerial phenomena herself, but that she had seen photographic evidence, historical evidence, and spoken to Air Force pilots who alleged the Air Force was covering up UAP sightings. This is what she told Rogan, quote, "There's definitely something I can tell you with confidence that we don't know how to explain currently," which is interesting. She also says that the U.S. has reversed engineered technology to replicate ships and crafts that were not made by humans. Here's another quote. "Without getting into classified conversations, there have been incidences where I believe very credible people have reported that there have been movements outside of time and space. Based on the photos that I've seen, I'm very confident that there's things out there that have not been created by mankind." I mean, it's sort of fascinating, right? I mean, that seems to me like kind of a big deal. If she's a member of Congress, she is one of a handful of members who are very involved in trying to bring some more transparency to what the government knows about these unidentified aerial phenomena. And it's really her, Eric Burleson, a Republican from Missouri, and Tim Burchett, a Republican from Tennessee. They've held a bunch of hearings, the most recent of which in Congress was in November 2024. And I want to get into all of that because there's actually, interestingly enough, a longish history of Congress looking into this, because for a long time no one talked about it, but for the last 20 years there has been some momentum behind trying to find more about what's really going on here. And I want to go into that and then where it might go from here. But before I do that, I want to make a pitch to you, which is I hope you become a subscriber to this here YouTube channel. The reason why I can sum up in 2 words: independent and authentic. I am independent from big legacy media. I don't work for them. I work for myself and for you. I am also independent from either party. I'm calling balls and strikes without fear or favor. I don't care if you're a Republican or a Democrat. If it's a good idea, I'll say it's a good idea. If it's a bad idea, I'll say it's a bad idea. I'm also authentic. I'm not interested in selling you fan fiction. I'm not doing fan service. I'm not going to tell you what you want to hear so that you subscribe to me. I'm going to tell you my honest analysis based on decades of political journalism. I may not always be right. You definitely won't always agree with me, but you'll know where I'm coming from. So I hope you subscribe. Okay, let's go back in time before we jump forward in time and space, which apparently Paulina knows. She has seen things that can exist outside the time-space continuum, which is a big deal. All right, so I think really when it comes to Congress, the godfather of UFOs or unidentified aerial phenomenon, this whole thing is there anybody else out there, aliens, extraterrestrials, is Harry Reid. So Harry Reid, senator from Nevada, a Democrat, a longtime Senate minority and majority leader. He was the leader of Senate Democrats for a very long time. He has been interested in this stuff and been willing to speak out about this stuff for longer than anyone. In 2007, so almost 20 years ago, Reid worked with a few other senators, including one from Hawaii and one from Alaska, to secure $22 million to set up what was called the Advanced Aerospace Threat Identification Program, basically a part of the government whose job it was to track the sightings of things that no one could explain. So in 2021, Reid, looking back, wrote about sort of his interest in it and what he's learned. I want to quote in the New York Times. I want to quote just a little bit from that. He says, quote, "I believe that there is information uncovered by the government's covert investigations into unidentified aerial phenomenon that can be disclosed to the public without harming our national security. The American people deserve to know more, and hopefully they will soon with the release of a comprehensive government report requested by the Senate Intelligence Committee on Military Encounters." That was subsequently released. This is what he said. He went to add, "What have I personally learned from official investigations into UAP so far? The truth, disappointing as it may be, is that there's still a great deal we don't understand. It's unclear whether the UFOs we have encountered could have been built by foreign adversaries, whether our pilots' visual perception during some encounters was somehow distorted, or whether we truly have credible evidence of extraterrestrial visitations. There may be other, as yet unknown, explanations for some of these sightings." So Reid is the godfather, right? Without him, I think a lot of the momentum that has grown in Congress since to look into this stuff probably wouldn't be there. But what's clear is in the last few years, especially, this stuff has really picked up. So in 2024, the Pentagon released a report. They said a lot of things in it. One of the things that they said is that between May 2023 and June 2024, there had been 757 incidents and reports of unidentified aerial phenomenon. Now, this could be a balloon, a bird, a plane. But they did say, they admitted in that report, there were 21 reports, so 21 out of that 757, that they could not explain what was being seen. Now, that doesn't mean it's a UFO or UAP, sorry. I'm stuck in my old way of thinking. But it does mean that they can't explain it. They did, however, say that the government has no evidence of extraterrestrial aircraft. Okay, now, in that November hearing, November 2024, and then in 2023 as well, this fascinates me. Retired Major David Grosh, he was part of the Pentagon's UAP task force. He said to Congress that the government had recovered nonhuman, his word, biologics, and had worked to reverse engineer technology based on that. Now, that sounds a whole heck of a lot like what Paulina Luna told Joe Rogan this week, which is basically, we've recovered spacecraft and maybe things in those spacecraft that we are now using to try to understand alien technology. Is someone out there? Is the government covering up all this? I mean, the short answer is, I don't know. Anna Paulina doesn't know. Harry Reid doesn't know. Maybe someone in the government knows, but they're not telling us. But what we know is that the U.S. government for decades tried to insist that Area 51 didn't exist, that none of this stuff was real, that these people were just nuts. And we now know that some of that stuff isn't true, and that the reality is credible, serious people, including members of Congress, are now saying this bears much more looking into. There are things that are out there that we simply do not understand what they are. And some people are making allegations that, yes, the U.S. has recovered spacecraft and non-human biologics, whatever the heck that means, that they have studied in a reverse engineering. So will we ever get to know the truth? I mean, look, as a fan of the X-Files, and I love that show, the truth is out there. Am I, out of all the things that I am skeptical about when it comes to conspiracy theories, this is the one that the government knows more about extraterrestrials, the possibility of extraterrestrial life, UFOs, spacecraft, than they're telling us. I kind of believe that, to be honest. Like, if there is a conspiracy theory I believe in, other than that the NBA rigged it so that the Knicks would get Patrick Ewing in the draft, that's the one that I believe in, because there just seems there was such a cover up. And now we're starting to get more and more evidence that suggests, yeah, there's a lot of stuff out there that we just do not know what it is, and it can't be explained. It moves in ways it can't be explained by anything we know in sort of human technology. And then again, serious, credible people putting their names and their credibility on the line to say, look, this stuff is out there, right? And we need to look more into it for scientific reasons, for innovation reasons, but also for national security reasons. Like if there are extraterrestrials, we need to plan for it. So yes, I am a little bit of a believer here. And what I really want is for people like Paulina Luna and these other members of Congress to use the power of the government to get some people to testify and get some truths out there. So stay tuned, because I don't think the story is going away, but I was fascinated by her interview with Joe Rogan, and sort of her candid admission that, yes, there is stuff out there that we don't know about and we need to know more about. All right, everyone. Three to four things I ask you to do. 1, subscribe if you haven't already to this channel. 2, like and comment on this video. I mean, if you can't comment about a video about UFOs, UAPs, you may never comment. Last, just tell somebody you know about what I'm doing here. Contextualizing and analyzing politics without a partisan bent, coming from an independent and authentic place. We are at 114,000 subscribers and growing. I hope you become one today if you are not. And if you already are, tell someone to become one. All right, everyone, take care.